All right, let's take a look at the local dailies now, and we start off with a free edition of the Star. It's not for sale today being Tuesday. The Star does not have any of the common stories on the front page today, of course. Wakona tofauti, hadithi tofauti kabisa. So what they've decided to go with is this one. State farms bleed public coffers dry. Most of them are insolvent after piling up massive losses. And among the parastatals in the red is KBC, 89 billion shillings. Ketraco comes second with 16 billion shillings. Postbank, does it still exist? NOC, yeah. Postal Corporation, Sony Sugar, Rivertex East Africa Limited, KNTC, Mohoroni Sugar, Nzoia Sugar, and you realize most of the sugar companies are here. Yeah. Kenya Petroleum Refineries, even the new KCC is in the red. That story is on pages 4 and 5 of this paper. And ametumia picha pale KBC, parastatals bleeding the coffers dry. Asema the Postal Corporation of Kenya had a negative working capital of 7.7 billion and was operating on the hope of government support, making its viability as a going concern uncertain without state rescue. So the Auditor General found that the management of most state corporations failed to disclose grave financial uncertainties, making them technically insolvent and putting their viability as going concerns in doubt. The lack of transparency, coupled with the sheer scale of the losses and insolvency, paints a picture of a sector in crisis, sustained only by the financial life support of the Kenyan taxpayer. So they're technically bankrupt. Other stories given prominence on the front page, pale juu, Kenya Police Service, the most complained about arm of the National Police Service. And scientists at Calro multiply cassava seeds 100-fold. Hey, cassava. Cassava can be very sweet for breakfast.
Yani, mhogo.
Yeah. You know? Kwanza kuna vile mamashi pale huwa wanatengeneza
wanaweka. Tell them you love cassava lakini.
Kuna vile wanatengeneza hivi. Oh, makes my day. That's the Star. And it comes with a free copy of MyGov Pullout for government tenders and jobs. Grab yourself a copy of this free edition of the Star and read a little more on what the government has to offer. Fresh, independent, different.
All right, Daily Nation, Raila fights to rescue Sakaja, deadlock, former premier unable to broker a truce after 2 meetings. It is a game of numbers here. You see 123 is the total number of Nairobi MCAs following the death of Kariobangi North's Joel Munyuve in April. 41 is the number required, 1/3 of the House to introduce the impeachment motion. I should have read this fast. Signaling collaboration in the broad-based government, ODM leader Raila Odinga has gone into overdrive to scuttle a plot by Nairobi County Assembly members to impeach Governor Johnson Sakaja, who was elected on a United Democratic Alliance ticket.
That's the irony of it, that this is a UDA governor, but the person working hardest to defend him is the ODM party leader.
Inamaanisha maybe anaenda na ODM party ticket in 2027.
But you see, ODM is a majority in the Nairobi County Assembly.
Yes.
You have to talk to the party leader because your troops, ODM wakiamua hivi, you're out.
What happens to Babu Owino?
He's not an MCA.
No, in terms of seeking for the gubernatorial seat. Because I know I may show interest.
Yes, he has.
So if Raila Odinga is backing Johnson Sakaja, then what happens to Babu?
Uliona ule mwingine wa ODM Tim Wanyonyi alihepa Nairobi. Aliona baba vile ameenda akasema wacha aende Bungoma.
87 MCAs who have signed the draft motion to impeach the governor, and 82 2/3 majority needed to send Sakaja to trial by Senate. This story is on page 4.
So it means they've already met the threshold. If 87 MCAs have already signed the draft motion, they only need 41 for the motion to be tabled, and they only need the 2/3, which is 82, less than the 87, for him to be impeached.
And now they say the bid to impeach Governor Johnson Sakaja has been gaining momentum, with 87 members of the county assembly reported to have already appended their signatures in support of their ouster mission. This is an increase from the 70 recorded on Friday last week. The assembly is currently on recess until September 23rd, but the MCAs have said they will not wait until then to table the motion. MCAs have accused the governor of being out of touch with the needs of residents and being inaccessible as well.
Amesema mali hapo ati the governor is only concerned with dishi.
Dishi na county.
Dishi na county.
Watoto lazima wakule. Other stories here given prominence on the front page of the Daily Nation. Schools send students home as state delays wiring funds. Lack of capitation still tunaongelelea in September. Last term, according to KUPPET Deputy Secretary General, that is Moses Thirima, anasema last term schools closed early due to financial constraints. And he says if this continues, principals may have no choice but to shut down again. There's a breakdown here of the 2025 capitation for around 3,280,000, 182 learners in Kenyan shillings, and it totals to 36,654,000 billion, not even million, 32,654,211,810 total undisbursed funds to schools.
Na tuna expect shule zifanye kazi.
TikTok gives Kenyan artists new feature. That's a boost for content creators there. On the top strip, governors defy route on public tender system. Yes, that story is on page 6. And more houses torched in Mau, narrow clashes on the back page of the Daily Nation. Tough decisions in naming Stars squad to face Gambia. Harambee Stars players shift focus to 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Coach McCarthy Mamo on Odhiambo's absence. That's Harambee Stars report for first-time training session. That's the Daily Nation.
All right. From the Daily Nation, let's take a look at Taifa Leo. Habari ni ile habari kuu kwenye ukurasa wa mbele. Sakaja katika meno ya simba. Duru zasema zaidi ya madiwani 80 wa kaunti ya Nairobi wamekubali kuunga mkono hoja ya kumng'atua kitini. Kimeumana wanasema. Gavana wa Nairobi amemkimbilia Raila mara 2 ndani ya siku 3. Akimsihi awaagize madiwani wa ODM wamnasue kwenye mpango wa kutimuliwa madarakani. Zaidi ya mashtaka 20 yameandaliwa dhidi yake. Nasema mikutano miwili imefanywa. Kuna mkutano mmoja ulifanyika katika nyumbani kwake Raila Odinga kule Karen. Kuna nyingine ilifanyika ofisini kwake hapa Upper Hill, lakini zote bado hazijakufikia uafikiano wa kumnusuru. Kwa hivyo sasa katika meno ya simba. Sasa hapa mkuu diwani Geoffrey Majiwa akisema gavana wetu hashirikiani na mtu yeyote, huwa anafanya maamuzi yote peke yake. Hakuna mpango wowote alioanzisha ukafaulu. Analojua ni mdomo tamu tu. Bas. Meno ya simba. Habari zingine hapa wanasema na masuala ya kigeni. Tetemeko laua watu 800 kule Afghanistan. Maslahi ya kisiasa ngao ya magavana yabainika, baadhi ya MCAs hupata msukumo wa kisiasa kuwatimua magavana wao, na ni ukweli. I think MCAs have now probably, it could be argued that they're even misusing this threat of impeachment. Instead of a tool to actually carry out their oversight role, they look at it like hapa tunaweza pata kitu. Masikitiko, wanafunzi wakifukuzwa shuleni, tumezungumzia hayo. Na pale juu, Ruto Raila wachezea upinzani karata kali. UDA yajiondoa chaguzi ndogo Kasipul na Ugunja na Magarini. So wanaachia ODM kule. Mata Sports, masuala ya michezo, pressure ya mapema ligini EPL. Amorim, Pep na kocha wa Spurs wamulikwa kwa mwanzo mbaya ligi kuu. Lakini Man U alishinda mechi moja. Taifa Leo.
Business Daily, banks slash personal loans for first time in 7 years. As cost of loans and defaults surge, the bank's love affair with the workers and small traders who for years have been drivers of their profits was disrupted. Banks for the first time in 7 years cut lending to individuals and households, fretful about rising defaults as borrowers struggled with loan repayments in a high interest rate environment. And this emerged in a period when thousands of workers breached the legal requirement that demands they take home at least a third of their salary, following a deduction of 2.75% of gross pay for universal health coverage and housing levy of 1.5% of monthly pay. 1.42 million is the drop in the number of household loan accounts. Other stories here, hospitals to get accreditation scores like hotels and safety push. On the ticker, Laikipia, Taita Taveta now fastest growing coffee zones. They say Laikipia and Taita Taveta counties have the highest growth in acreage under coffee in Kenya. Nyeri too, I guess. Nyeri is doing well with coffee. Brokers, investment banks reap 1.1 billion shillings profit from Nairobi Stock Exchange trade and increased trade in bonds and securities on the NSE. Gifted stockbrokers and investment banks, 156% growth in the net profit in half year to June. That's the Business Daily this morning.
All right, from the Business Daily, we take a look at the People Daily, and this is an analysis of ODM parties' continued influence. ODM lost glory, they say, why aspirants no longer want the orange ticket. This analysis comes when the party is marking exactly 20 years since its inception. You know, ODM was born out of the 2005 referendum. Yes, when Samuel Kivuito alisema kuna ndizi na kuna chungwa. Alafu akasema chungwa pia, after the defeat of the referendum, akasema chungwa itakuwa chama. And then from 2005 to 2025, 20 years on, the party, which previously had candidates in all the constituencies in Kakamega County, has no aspirant in Malava by-election, and instead is fielding candidates for Unguja, Kasipul, and Magarini, respectively. Coast na kule Nyanza ndio wanabakisha. Hiyo ndo ngome yao. Wakiingia Western, mambo inaharibika sasa. Na Malava by-election bado iko kule. Malava by-election na do or die for Mudavadi. Maswala ya siasa hapa. Na pale chini, marriage of convenience. Will Ruto and Raila last up to 2027? You realize that the People Daily is now moving more and more towards analysis. This is an analysis, this too is, and this one are analytical pieces. Yeah. Wasema hapa inaitwa forgotten fame. Yeah, ODM. Do you agree with this kind of assessment? Do you think ODM is done?
No. ODM wanakuwa very strategic.
It's still too early.
ODM, directly you're asking the wrong person. But literally, ODM,
it's still a strong party.
It is.
If you get this ticket for Kasipul, ODM ticket.
Let me tell you something. You know, the director, Nashinda amesema, ODM is always right. Tell ODM members right now to do something.
Huyo chama yao ilimezwa na ile chama ingine hata sijui naongea nini.
ODM bado inapumua nyinyi wata.
That's a People Daily.
The Standard, finally, big economy lie. Where is the cash is the question they ask here. And when Treasury paints a rosy picture with its upbeat focus, the truth is that Kenyans are still staring at empty wallets, stalled dreams and shrinking dignity. Numbers don't lie, but they can mislead. Unless growth translates into jobs, incomes and real wealth, we are simply being sold GDP without a meal on the table. The CS ought to put people before statistics and reimagine the economy not as an elite casino, but as a values-driven project of shared prosperity. According to an economist here, quoted by the Standard, nasema very recent GDP numbers are mostly physical capital with some human capital and next to nothing productivity gain. In everyday language, we have spent the last decade building things and not people. We are building things. We're not building people. We're not building hustlers. Hustler nation. This story is on page 8 and 9. Putting up a show, Duale DCI smile for cameras in graft war, and Health Cabinet Secretary tried to wash his hands off the SHA scandal, theatrically dumping files on the DCI before the press, but refused to take questions because of the now tired and age-old excuse that answers might jeopardize investigations. Duale achukwangi questions.
Walipeana 1,188 files. DCI wako very busy leo.
CSO sleuth Duale Hans Shafroad files DCI made uproar. He has insisted taxpayers' money has been stolen in the Social Health Authority scam, but he has yet to quantify the losses. It is a tough time being a parent or school head, and when education is reduced to a political pledges, parents to cash machines and learners to collateral, the dream of free schooling turns into an illusion and a burden for caregivers. On the back page of the Standard, the Kenya pickup chant 2024 paces ahead of World Cup qualifiers. Harambee Stars captain Olunga upbeat ahead of World Cup qualifiers, and Kenya will face Gambia and Seychelles from September 5th at Kasarani Stadium. Harambee Stars coach anasema we will try and make the most of the 4 remaining games. We have played 4 matches and not picked maximum.
Wakitaka washinde hiyo tuwaenda waambie kuna millions zinakuja.
That's the Standard.
All right, let's take a look at the caricatures this morning, and this one is on